Alright, so what I want to share with you today is my Sunstar book. I put together this book from files I got off the internet. A little bit of extra paperwork, some receipts and stuff for some parts. First thing in the book I've got is the Sunstar do-it-yourself service manual. Right here. These are files that I got off the internet, various places. PDF. If you're interested in this, you can actually buy this book. There's a part number 1701191. So the first 156 pages here is the service manual. That is what I'll be using to show you how to do the engine repair, engine removal, excuse me, that I'm going to be doing today. Next we've got the operator's manual for the Simplicity. That's several pages long. And then the next thing in my book is the actual parts manual for all the different parts and the part numbers and so on and so forth. This information came with my Simplicity Sunstar when I bought it. And then the very last thing I've got here is actually the operator's manual for the snowblower attachment that I went and bought, tracked it down on Craigslist and bought. This is very small, just a few pages here. So that is my book of my Sunstar. But what we're going to be doing today, we are going to use the information found in this manual to remove the engine off of a Sunstar that I'm repairing for a friend of mine. So hang in there. Let's get started. So we're here in section 12 of the service manual, and I'm actually looking at the engine removal page. And what I'm hoping to accomplish in this video is to go step by step by step and show you how to remove the engine. I know that I've already removed the hood from this engine, so we're going to skip that step. And but that's what we're planning on doing. In the end, the engine will be out of the tractor and ready for service. Today's project is to pull the engine from a Simplicity Sunstar. I want to pull this engine out because I have a no spark situation. It has the Magnum 20 horsepower Kohler engine in it, and there's no spark, so I have to look at the coil to find out what's going on there. Probably just replace it, but in order to do that you have to remove the engine from the tractor. So got the hood off already. To get the hood off, basically down here there's a pin here and a pin there, and from underneath you just pull those pins and the hood pops right off. You also disconnect the wire that goes to the headlight. So the rest of this process I'm going to kind of document on video here for you. I'm going to go step by step according to the plan in the repair manual. Alright, so the Simplicity Sunstar that we have in front of us, they have this this air coil, or whatever you want to call it, and I have a Sunstar myself, and it also has this, but what it doesn't have is this contraption right here. Now the battery is mounted under here, and if you ever need to access the battery you have to remove this, but I've never seen this. This is connected to the positive end of the battery, that's connected to the negative, and this is where you would jump start or charge a battery, I guess. So never seen that before, but it's different, and it worked because I did have to give this a jump one time. So let's take that off of there for now. I've already disconnected the negative from the battery, and the positive, there's the battery. The positive end of this wire is connected down there to the solenoid. So alright, but the next step in accessing this engine is to remove the side panels there on both sides. So let's get to her. So what I'm seeing here, this particular engine panel is held on by a screw that's a slot. This one's Allen, and this one's hex, and this one down here is also a hex. So somebody's replaced a little bit of hardware over the years on this with whatever they had handy. So we'll get that all off of there. Alright, so what I did was to get the sheet metal off all the way around here. And now we should start disconnecting the engine connections, the throttle cables and the wires and such. I do have on the top here, there's a couple of lift points that I'm going to put a chain on to lift this engine out. So the next step that the book tells us is to disconnect a lead for the starter, and that would be right here. So I don't know if that's 7/16 or 3/8. Let's find out. Not 3/8. It is 7/16. And we got this wire, this black lead here. We'll disconnect that. That's mentioned a little later in the book, but it's in our way right now. Alright, I'll just put this nut back on the starter so we know where it's at. Next step. Alright, book says next step is to remove the fuel line from the carburetor. We'll get a little screwdriver to help pry that off. Look at that, that whole end came out of there. I don't think that was supposed to happen. I'll put this back in the nipple there. Gotta figure out how. Well, that's interesting. Oh, I see. Gotta kind of squeeze these. Squeeze this together to get it to slide back in there. That's interesting. And you know what? Just gonna wait for now. Alright, so the instructions say to remove this, and I've already had it removed before I started this project, so this engine removal project. So that came off the carburetor. Here, I'll show you. This is the carburetor. And this was mounted on there with the air filter, so I took that off. And now we're going to disconnect the throttle connections. Stuff a rag in the carburetor so nothing falls in there.